It's pretty wild to think that one of the most powerful and creative forces in the universe exists on a scale we can't even see. Well, today, we're taking a tour of that secret world, the ovary. It's a place that's constantly creating, constantly changing.
So, let me ask you a question that sounds like it's straight out of science fiction. What if there was a vital organ in the human body that could rebuild a huge part of itself, basically from scratch, every single month? It sounds impossible, right? But that's not fiction. That's exactly what the ovary does.
So let's zoom way in and become cellular tourists for the next few minutes. We're going to follow the incredible journey of a single egg, from a quiet, sleeping little seed all the way to becoming a potential new life. And don't worry, we're going to make the histology, which is just the study of all these tiny structures, as exciting as the story it tells.
Okay, first things first, let's look at the basic blueprint. I want you to think of the ovary as a super advanced factory that's running two major production lines at the same time. One line is making the precious cargo, the eggs, or ova. And the other line? It's pumping out the powerful chemical messengers, the hormones, that run the entire operation.
If you slice an ovary open, you'll see it has two really distinct zones. That outer layer, the cortex, that's like the bustling downtown city. It's teeming with all the follicles where the eggs actually develop. Then you have the inner core, the medulla. Think of that as the city's infrastructure, the power grid, the plumbing. It's got all the blood vessels and nerves that support the cortex. But here's the key thing. All the action, all those important follicles, they're only found in that bustling cortex.
Now this is where things get really incredible. At birth, the ovaries are basically stocked with this huge library of potential stories. We're talking millions of them. And each one is a tiny egg, just waiting for its chapter to begin. Just let that number sink in for a second. 1 million. 1 million potential lives. 1 million chances for a new beginning. All packed into two tiny little organs. It's just an amazing genetic inheritance to be born with.
So what do these little beginnings look like? Well, under the microscope, they're called primordial follicles. You can think of them like tiny time capsules. Each one has a precious egg inside, basically frozen in its development, just waiting for the signal to wake up. They're like dormant seeds, holding all the potential for a giant tree inside.
All right, and now the story really kicks off. Every month, a hormonal signal goes out. It's like an alarm clock, and a small select group of these sleeping follicles gets woken up. And they're called to start this pretty intense journey, basically a race to see which one will be chosen for ovulation.
And the transformation is, well, it's dramatic. You can see it right here. It all starts with that tiny primordial follicle. Once it gets the wake-up call, it becomes a primary follicle. The egg gets bigger, and this protective layer starts to form around it. Then, as a secondary follicle, you start to see this fluid-filled space show up, called the antrum. And finally, you get the mature follicle, where that antrum is just enormous, and the egg is finally ready for its grand debut.
But, and this is important, the egg is not on this journey by itself. No way. It has a whole support crew. You've got the theca cells, which form this protective and hormone-making outer layer. And then you have the granulosa cells on the inside, which are nourishing and supporting the egg directly. It's this perfectly timed team effort, all focused on this one precious cell.
Okay, here we are. We've reached the climax of our story. All of that growth, all of that teamwork and preparation, it's all been leading up to this single explosive moment, ovulation.
So what pulls the trigger? It's a massive surge of a hormone called LH, luteinizing hormone. This chemical signal basically tells the follicle, it's go time. The follicle wall breaks down, it ruptures, and the egg is finally set free, starting its journey toward potential fertilization.
So you might be wondering, what about the structure that gets left behind? Is the follicle story over? Not quite. In fact, it's about to go through one last, amazing transformation. Its final act in this monthly drama.
The empty follicle actually morphs into a brand new structure called the corpus luteum, which is just Latin for yellow body. And for a short time, this thing is a powerful little hormone factory. It just pumps out progesterone to get the uterus ready for a possible pregnancy. It's a great example of how efficient the body is. Nothing goes to waste.
Now, if pregnancy doesn't happen, the corpus luteum's job is done. It starts to break down and wither away, and it leaves behind this tiny little white scar. That's called the corpus albicans. It's like a quiet little mark left behind, a ghost of a cycle that's now complete.
So, let's do a quick roll call of the key players we just met. You've got the cortex, the main stage where all the follicles are. The medulla, which is the vital support system.
the theca and granulosa cells, the all-star support crew for the egg, and finally, the corpus luteum, that temporary hormone factory. Every single one plays a crucial role in this incredible dance of creation that happens month after month.
And that leaves us with one last, really fascinating question. If you're born with 1 million potential lives, 1 million follicles, why do only about 500 or so ever actually complete the journey to ovulation? It's because of a pretty brutal process of elimination called atrasia. But that begs the question, why would nature be so wasteful? It's a question that still puzzles scientists, and it's a great reminder that even in processes we think we understand, life always holds on to a few of its secrets.